Okay, this is Algebra 1, lesson 65. And here's what we're going to do today. We are going to add radical expressions. It's radical, bro.
Dang, bro.
The band shirt and the hat.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, this will greatly remind you how to do things from your test as well. Because we must discuss what like terms are. So, like terms, when I'm like, hey, like terms, that means that you are looking for the same combination of letters or same like you have something attached to your numbers, right? And you're looking for the same thing attached to your numbers, and you can add those. But if you don't have the same thing, then you cannot add them. Okay? So like if you have 4x plus 3, this does not have what? X. So you can't add these. This does not become 7x. This becomes 4x plus 3. That's it. That's all you can do. That's as simple as it gets. Okay, what about 4x plus 3x? It's 7x. Why? Because I have 4 x's and 3 x's. That's 7 x's. Why? Because they both have x in them. They have to have the same thing attached. What about x to the 5th plus 3x? Do those add? No, because this thing attached to that 4 is an x to the 5th. This is an x to the 1st power. So they're not the same. You can't add them. Okay, in the same fashion, over here, we have 4 square root of 2 minus 5 square root of 2 plus 12 square root of 2. Do all of these terms have the same thing growing off of them? Like a mole on grandma's face, perhaps. It's growing, it's always there. Every time you walk in, it's like staring you in the face. You can't look her in the eyes because you look at the mole. Yes.
Right here.
Oh, they're you have a little goiter growing off the side. No? You don't have that experience? That's not your life experience. Okay. All right. Maybe a pimple, you're a teenager and you're like, oh, I have a pimple, it's right here. And then everyone stares at the pimple and says,
yes.
Okay, there we go. We found something that works, right? You have a happy person, they're so happy, and then there's a pimple right there. Right there.
Oh, for me.
When you read your Bible, pray every day. Pray every day. Anyways, so they all have the same thing growing on them. What is growing on them or attached to them? The square root of 2. So what I will do is I will combine the numbers in front. 4 minus 5 is -1. If you really wanted to go the extra mile in showing your work, are you okay? Oh, okay. You would do those two first, then -1 plus 12 is 11. Simple? Rhymes with? No, just kidding. All right, see, I got you there. Okay, let's try this one. We have 4 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 5 minus 6 square root of 3. Try it on your own in your notes, and then we'll check if you got it correct. Because you're taking notes, so you're ready to do it. Y'all ready for this? You're not trying it. You have to write something. Well, sorry.
I have a question.
You write something. In fact, you can even write that. And then I will answer your question once you've tried it. Woo! You try it?
Yeah.
Try it? Did you get it? No? Okay, no, that's writing the problem. Now you have to, you have to take a leap of faith. You have to go, all right, if I'm going to be wrong, this is my best wrong guess. And you write, that's right. Well, take a wrong guess.
All right, I will
Do
take
something
the wrong.
completely
I will
wrong.
take the wrongest guess.
AJ, that's the right answer. Don't throw them off. No, just kidding. It's not.
But,
So 4. Yeah, dude, I'm figuring it out.
Dude.
I
You're not called teacher.
I didn't call you dude. I almost did, but then I didn't.
Take a guess, even if it's wrong. All this together once we
Is it?
Okay, so which ones of these are like terms? Well, they should have the same thing growing off of them. So, do we have any of them that have the square root of 3 in them? Yeah, the last one. What's 4 minus 6?
Huh?
Negative 2. Does this one have any like terms?
No.
No, so we ignore it. Much like people we don't know. Wait, that's not what we do. That would not be Christian-like. That's your answer.
I didn't even notice. Wait.
That's it.
Oh, man.
That's it.
I didn't even see
That's all it
that.
is. Let us do another one. Like the vegetable.
That was like the time.
Go. You're writing. Write quickly. Quickly. You must write. The fate of the world depends on no. But still.
Guys, up the red wire.
Mr. Black, I can't video game.
Are you satisfied with this?
I would say
Are you
no.
satisfied with this? Think you enjoy it better than it could have been. Questions? It's too high because you're in degree. You're in ratings. So if your angle's in ratings, you use 2 pi. If your angle's in degrees, you use 360. Okay. One more. So you would have 20. There was nothing else. Because base to the alpha equals input. This equals a number. So 20. Okay, I will be back. Who's gonna cry? That is my job for later. Okay.
Oh, I want to steal it.
I got a little personal on. Alright, so which ones have a square root of 2 in them? Well, that one. Which one has a square root of 3 in it? Those guys. So I'm going to combine the terms that have the same stuff. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. You don't do anything with that, right? If you have apples, like 3 apples and 5 apples, and you add them, you don't get 8 square apples, or you don't get 64. You have 8, right? So just leave the little goiter that's growing on grandma's neck or pimple growing. Leave the pimples, okay? Leave them as they are. Do not pop them. Do not. Anyways, no, just kidding, guys. 5 plus 8 is 13 square root of 3.
I got it right.
Cool. So, I think we're done with that. What if none of them have anything in common?
Leave it how it is.
You leave it. Much like the pimples. Anyways, moving on. Now, the other part of this lesson is a little bit more tricky. It will require the gears. Right now, they're still stopped. Like that was like okay, but eventually they will have to start turning in the brain cells. Okay, the turning gears. It's gonna be like, oh, yeah, and then finally like they'll get moving. Okay. Jim's scores. Jim is a smart child. Were 60, 70, 80, and 90. And they asked what is the weighted average of his scores if the tests were weighted 1, 2, 4, and 6. So the first test is just normal. The second test is worth twice as much as the first one. The third test is worth 4 times as much as the first one. And the fourth test is worth 6 times as much. So how do I give this test the weight that it needs, the importance that it needs? Here's how you do it. Are you ready? This is really straightforward, but it's easy to miss. I pretend like there's only one of that test. the test that's worth double, I allow there to be 2 of them, even though they only took 1 test. The test that's worth 4 times, I have
4 more.
and the test that was worth 6 times the original, I treat it as if there were 6 of them. Now, I'm doing too much work. I could just write 6 times 90, right? I don't have to add 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90.
Why not? Okay.
Now, how do I take the average? You divide by what?
How many?
Don't say 4.
3, 7, 13, 14.
13. Because the total number of all the weights is 13. Let me rewrite this in a better way. The first test is just worth 1. The second test is worth 2 times as much.
So you're finding the mean.
The third test is 4 times as much like Mr. Belanda. Mean.
Very.
Wow, you didn't say no. Thanks a lot, AJ. Hurt my heart. Did you reseat yourself?
Huh?
You reseated yourself.
COVID.
Last one is 6 times 90. Then you divide by all of these added up. So 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 plus 1 is 13. That will give you the weighted average. That makes this test more important, makes this test less important. Good thing for Jim, because his worst test, really not that important overall. We do this with your finals, right? Finals are worth 20%, so they weight more than a normal test. So someone somewhere does this calculation for each of your grades. So his weighted average is 81.54%. So multiply the number times the scores. Okay? Divide by the total. And that